So the title of the presentation is Teaching Construction Robotics for Higher Education Students, and the lecture, the name of the lecture, the title of the lecture is Imagine and Make. So the order of the presentation are mainly Mr. Wasim Al-Balkhi, who is a PhD doctorate under my supervision, and we, for this article, our third author is Professor Dr. Thomas Linaire, who shared with us his experience in teaching, mainly robotization in construction. So we are very happy to be here today for that and to share this information. The plan of my presentation is the following. I will give an introduction. I will give the context of the construction, the research objective. I will give some information that you know them very well. But I will focus on the lecture that we give in Central Lille, Imagine and Make. I will present Central Lille, the pedagogy and the research, the new results of research in pedagogy, which is very extremely important to share with you. The deliverable and evaluation criteria that we use for that, resources and organization. And I will finish with some results and analysis for Imagine and Make deliverable for this lecture, the survey results and some conclusion. So the construction challenges that we spend the 2 days to explain that, I will be very quickly to say it. Productivity loss, poor safety condition, labor shortage, poor quality, resistance to adopt technology, and this challenges, we can find them in each country, and we have even the same figures. So the labor shortage, 80% of the contracting companies have difficulty finding qualified and skilled labor. And after the COVID, it became more difficult to find that. This is very important to know. Early retirement and resistance to accessing to the construction industry due to the tiredness due to repetitive and difficult activities. High injury rates. We have a lot of example in France, 1 death each 2 days, which is extremely important. 1 death each 2 days. So it means a lot, in fact. And poor safety conditions. So we have to work on this challenges. What robotization came from the industry of construction? This is really something that you have to imagine that for them it is very difficult, this kind of robot that they came. And there is a lot of challenges that to do. So we did it for our students, the future engineer that will be hired by this company. So managing repetitive activities, managing dangerous activities, cutting, drilling, welding. This is important. And improving precision, efficiency, and productivity and quality. The objective is not to replace or to change labors. The objective is to making less the penability of the work of the labors. This is really important. So the research objective of our work is this. So our aim of this research is to report a construction robotics teaching method, Imagine and Make. And if you know the CBL, the challenging based learning system, which is very well known now as a method of teaching, I would like that we can discuss about that in the question. So our objective was to explain the pedagogical principle of Imagine and Make, to present the results of the students' work, and to discuss the results of Imagine and Make. Central Lille is a higher educational research institution, public institution, considered in France as elite institution. And Lille is located in the north of France, 1 hour from Paris by high-speed train, 30 minutes from Brussels by high-speed train. So we are very well known by innovating in pedagogy. So each 2 or 3 years we are innovating. So we are usually making some challenges for that in order to be more focused on the reality and taking in account the changing of the mentality of our students and the challenges of the society. It can be industrial or the society linked to what we are working the climate change in these days. Here are some figures about the infrastructure and some view of Central Lille. Pedagogy. So we are making some innovation in pedagogy, and this is very important. Why this Imagine and Make, which was launched 2 or 3 years ago, and I will give some information about that. The pedagogy, if you know the pyramid of learning, there is some things that is very well known now. Example, the pyramid of learning in my lab, the average retention rate. the average retention rate, if for lecture, we can remember only 5%. If you are reading a book, 5% of intention, 10% in reading, 20% in audio and visual. If you assist to a demonstration, if you belong to a demonstration, you can remember 30%. Discussion group, meeting, team group, 50%. And practice by doing, 75%. And teach other, if you can teach, and all the student or the person are understanding you, they teach other, you can say that you master 90%. There is two, in the pyramid learning, there is the passive teaching method, which is in the lecture, reading, audiovisual demonstration. I am giving a lecture. You cannot retain as much as you can if you are doing what we are doing, imagine and make. This is very important to know. It is why in pedagogy, giving a lecture by Zoom during the COVID was really something, it is inhuman. And we can give information, we can share knowledge, but we cannot master some skills. Giving skills is more different than giving information. So this is very important that we focus on the skills rather than we focus on information or on knowledge. And participatory teaching method is in the second phase. If we see on the right, so if you read 10%, you can remember. What they hear, 20%. They see 30%. If you see TV or movie, you can remember only 30%. And if you are doing it, if you are practicing it, you probably can remember 90%, and this is what we call skills. This is important to know that. The objective of the Imagine and Make is really for 1 week for more than 80 students. All the blocked in a big room. It is not an amphitheater, so there is no classical lecture. The first objective is to link with industrials. The second, to have an international approach. So we have a lot of professor or lecture coming from the abroad. This is very important. And discovery of the world of research. So there is a lot of research assistant. And immersion in innovative subject as a startup mode, agility, the method of the agility is this kind of method, and to discover the industry 4.0 and construction. For them, for our students, it is the first time that they hear about construction 4.0 and industry 4.0. And structural approach, design, production, and argument in order to have the scientific level. All this objective, the output for Imagine and Make, and we include also business approach, because we need for these days, for nowadays, a new kind of business approach, and this was important for us. So the deliverable and evaluation criteria is that for the delivery, for the week, the whole week, the student must give a scientific report, a physical prototype, a prototype functionally that function, a video of prototype in order for communication and information, and oral presentation. So these deliverable get to the point on the main steps from the idea to realization. Any element that provides visual element of production and operation, and video focused on the functionality of the deliverable and the marketing of the project, the feeling of the experience, actual contribution to the project. A PPT is optional. When you begin a lecture, the delivery must be given for the student, and this is important for the pedagogy method that we apply. So we gave them the Boston Dynamics spot. We call it in Central Lille Hermes as the luxury brand. And we ask them, you have for 1 week this dog, uses and functionality for robot dog in the construction sector. What kind of study case that you can use? Imagine it and make it. Imagine the use case and make it. And for that, we gave them some information. He can serve, he can help, he can collaborate, he can follow, he can secure, he can facilitate, and he can protect or carry. And it is open. It is very liberty for them. For the student, for any person, even if you apply for a European project, you need to know what are the evaluation criteria. So we gave them the evaluation criteria for them in the beginning. The 40% is for the physical report. 30% is for the scientific article. 10% for the innovation, oral presentation 5%, and for the video 15%. And we explain why we take this criteria. We take in account the design, the innovation, the team working, the commercialization, the ability to make, and the ability to imagine, and the sustainable development, because it is mandatory for us now in our vision. So the scientific article, they never heard about scientific article, our students. We explain them for that. And there is a person specialized in how to write a scientific article, is in beyond the experts that follow the lecture. So the pedagogic article to know how to write a scientific journal according to international research standards, the standard framing, reference, critical, scientific argument, and foresight discussion. For the scientific journal, we gave some information for them because they need to be supervised and to manage it. 10 to 15 pages according to the specification of the article, language of your choice. You can write it in French, you can write it in English, you can write it in Chinese if you want. Point of attention, we gave them analysis and synthesis, innovation, robustness of the argument, and scientific relevance. And we gave some procedure. Our objective is after 1 week, they hear about what does it mean scientific article. They write the first report as a scientific article. And this is in order to make the skills and not only the knowledge or the information. For the business plan, we ask them to present a business plan for the project, but we decide that they have to integrate the energy and the environment dimension. It is extremely difficult, but it is the first point to tell them that for the future, for the next years, we need a new business plan taking in account the climate change. This is how they innovate, how they make imagination, and how to think that there is innovation in this kind of case. For the point to consider a realistic plan, the wealth of elements taken into consideration, analysis of customer expectation, and we gave them all the resources possible for them. And there is a person who specializes in a business plan. They can help them if they need. For the video, we ask them to make communication with video, and this video will be given on YouTube. So point of consider, they can be original in the video, pedagogic, convincing, and imagining and editing quality. And this is very important for us for how to communicate. Plenary session groups. If you gave an exam and you gave a note for the student, you need that you explain why they gave this course. This is very important. So in the last day, we make a plenary session groups where all the groups pass their video and we discuss all the groups and their notes. And there is a kind of debriefing of the results of all the students. Resources and organization. 10 experts from research and industry are available in the week. The school's Fab Lab, we have a Fab Lab. We have also my lab, Construction 4.0, and we gave them the availability for any database as any university that you can know. And we reimburse of small equipment purchases if needed. If there is nothing, if you need something that didn't exist in the university, they can buy it and we can reimburse it. We gave them the calendar: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, and Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon is the plenary video presentation and discussion post-test. And the Monday we began to explain what is the objective. And we gave 3 lecture in Tuesday for all of them. In order to give inspiration, we invite 3 international important persons to inspire them. For the team organization, they have to constitute a team. For the pre-test and post-test, we have a pre-test and post-test. Main hypothesis, imagine and make, help it to improve self-efficiency levels towards robotic use among the students. And the results. You can see here some results, some photo of the plenary conference where some important person, they came to open the mind. and international professor giving a lecture. So the lecture are open. And the prototype improve the safety, the security, the productivity, the logistic, and they can use AI, machine learning, 3D printing, sensor, IoT, DT, simulation, and anything that you can understand. Some deliverable, a picture from the lab, prototype for detecting and collecting waste on site, AI-controlled robots to make simulation, use of machine learning to inspect for intruder on site, inspection for hard hat on site, use of 3D printing to design a cooling system for work in hot climates, development of system to repair leaks area in gas pipeline, use of spot robot to guide person with visual impairment, use of spot robots to marking on site, RFID-based system, and we will show you a video for one of the team. Done by students.
We all know that the dog is man's best friend. Today, let us introduce to you an even better friend.
Have you ever wondered how construction workers trace the lines? Well, they do it manually, and it is truly not an easy task.
Now, imagine having the robot Spot developed by Boston Dynamics do it for you instead. Sounds promising, right? Our team Snoopy Vision has worked hard to provide you with the best technology.
Our design is innovative, ready to use, industry compliant, and it does not alter the other Spot's functions. Most importantly, it's highly accurate, higher than any human-made measurement. No more projects to remake because of the wrong line.
So I will, we make a survey in the beginning of the week, and then when we finish the results, we have a very good results. Most frequent teams, team working, collaboration, freedom of prototype development, challenging deliverable, ability to work on the practical topics and deal with the real robot, presentation by the experts, ability to do things by hand in the lab. So in conclusion, the presentation reports a novel method of teaching construction robotics. The method gives the student the opportunity to freely and collaboratively search and for application that can integrate robotics into the construction field. The method helps the student to be in touch with both academic literature and practical application. It is also allowing them to integrate different types of technology and tools while making their prototype. The pedagogic method can be applied in several areas in construction 4.0 and even in other fields and science. Thank you so much for your interesting.
Thank you so much, Zoubeir. Unfortunately, you took out all the buffer time I had. Maybe we have time for one quick question from the audience. If not, yeah, but very quick, please.
Thanks for the really interesting presentation. Yeah, my question is, I guess that most of the students that take this lecture are coming from a civil engineer background. Is that true? Actually, that's the first part, and the second one is like, how do you deal with sometimes like there is a bit of a knowledge gap for students, mainly undergrad students, like bachelor students, for you know, like getting on into this learning curve to actually being able to, because they develop quite nice prototypes at the end. So how do you deal with this knowledge gap that sometimes exists?
Yes, thank you for the question. So the first thing that I would like to say that they are not in civil engineering. They never even hear about civil engineering. They are general engineer, but they're considered as elite students. And the objective is to develop the skills by doing. So the idea is that they learn a lot all the week. They work a lot, even in the night sometimes, because there is kind of challenge for their team to imagine something and to build something. This was exciting for them, in fact. And the fact that there is something to do with imagination and robotization, and with a lot of expert and with the deliverable, this is give them the motivation to learn, in fact. And it is why we choose this kind of method, the challenges-based learning. It is linked to that, in fact, even if they have no knowledge in the beginning. So the objective is to give them to learn how to learn, in fact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zoubeir.
Excellent.